Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, gonna be doing something brand new, something that I've never done before. Gonna be making my first ever college football video, and man, I'm so excited to be making college football content this year. I've been kind of teasing it the last few months, saying that I was gonna be doing college football content, and the season officially kicks off on Saturday. Now, we don't have a full slate of games Saturday. It's technically not like the official kickoff week. This is going to be week 0. We do have 4 games Saturday. We do have kind of a decent game with Florida State and Georgia Tech. I'm a big Florida State fan, so I'm super excited to watch this game and just, to see Florida State playing again. But then the other games we have are Montana State and New Mexico, SMU, Nevada, and Delaware State, Hawaii. So these are obviously not like the most exciting games Saturday, but it's college football. I'm super excited for it to be back, and I'm very excited to be making content for the first time ever on college football. So for those of you that don't know who I am, since this is a new sport, since I'm going to be putting content out for a new sport this year, we're probably going to get some new faces coming to the channel. So for those of you that don't know who I am, my name's Noah. I do content for Prizepicks for daily fantasy. I've been playing daily fantasy for the last 7 years or so. Started this YouTube channel back in 2017, mainly just doing daily fantasy content. And then over the last few years, I've kind of transitioned into doing Prizepicks content, doing player props and stuff like that. So we're gonna give out picks that we like, or I'm gonna give out the picks I like each week. Gonna give you some breakdowns, some analysis, some stats on why I like the plays I give out, and hopefully we'll win some money this college football season. But yeah, guys, I'm so excited to be doing college football this year. This will be my first ever video. I do plan on making videos at least for every Saturday slate for like the full slate of games, and then we'll see about during the week like the Thursday slates and stuff like that. For now, though, I definitely want to try and get out content for all the Saturday slates, since that's when pretty much all the games are for college football is on Saturday. But first ever slate, first ever video, and we got 2 props to talk about, guys, for this week 0 slate. Now, for those of you that are new here, if you don't have an account over on Prizepicks, you guys can sign up for Prizepicks, linked down below in the description, or just make sure to use that promo code NOAH. When you place your first $5 lineup, you'll instantly get $50 in promo funds added to your account. So check out Prizepicks if you have not yet. And yeah, guys, let's talk through the props that I'm liking for week 0. So the first prop I like is going to be a receiving yards prop. And the one that I'm liking here is Jamal Haynes, and we're going to take Jamal Haynes for more than 10.5 receiving yards. Now let's talk through why I like this prop. So you can look at Jamal Haynes' recent games. It doesn't really mean anything. You don't even want to look at like past performance, especially from last season. Obviously, for college football, things change every year because players go to the draft, players lose their eligibility. So Jamal Haynes definitely is not looking at the same role this year that he had last season. Last season, he was splitting time with Dante Smith, who his eligibility ran out, so he's no longer on the team. So Jamal Haynes is expected to be kind of the clear lead back for Georgia Tech this year. He doesn't have a ton of competition for touches behind him. Trey Cooley is expected to be the backup to Jamal Haynes, and Cooley last season didn't get like a ton of opportunity. I'm not sure if he was injured or what last season, but he only played in about 7 or 8 games. Even in the games that Cooley played in, he wasn't really getting like a ton of volume. The most carries that he got in any game last year was 13. So I'm expecting Jamal Haynes to have kind of a workhorse type role for Georgia Tech. I'm expecting him to be a game script proof running back. So what that means is, even if Georgia Tech's playing with a lead, you should see Haynes out there getting carries. And if they're playing from behind, if they're forced to throw, Haynes should still be out there, getting checkdowns, getting screen passes. He should be involved in the passing game. And if you look at his role last season, he was a running back that was involved in the passing game a decent amount. And if you look at a lot of the games last season where he went over this receiving yards line, a lot of the games where he went over this line were games that Georgia Tech lost, and they were playing from behind. Well, this week, on Saturday against Florida State, Georgia Tech, they're 10.5 point underdogs. They're expected to be playing from behind here. So I think this is going to set up as a game script where Georgia Tech's going to be forced to throw a little bit more, especially if they are playing from behind. And if you look at in their losses last season, the games that Georgia Tech lost, so they lost like 5. Yeah, they lost 5 games last season. In those games, in terms of receiving yards, Jamal Haynes had 56, 28, 13, 10, 0, and then 2. So he did have 2 games where he only got 2 yards, 0 yards, but he had 1 catch for 10 yards against Boston College, a game they lost, 1 catch for 13 yards against Bowling Green, a game they lost, 3 catches for 28 yards against Ole Miss, a game that they lost, and then 4 catches for 56 yards against Louisville, which was a game they lost. So it seems like when Georgia Tech loses games, that typically means Jamal Haynes is more involved in the passing game, most likely because they're playing from behind, which should be the case this week against Florida State as 10.5-point underdogs. So I do like Jamal Haynes to have more than 10.5 receiving yards here. This is a line that, again, at 10.5, it doesn't take much for him to go over this line. He could get one catch for 11 yards, and that's all he needs. If he gets a screen pass and he has good blocking, he could easily get 11 yards on one catch. So this is not going to be a hard line for him to hit. We just need the volume to be there. 3 or 4 targets should be enough for him. And if he's going to be out there for a large majority of the snaps, which it looks like that's going to be the case, given he doesn't have a ton of competition behind him, I think he's going to have a workhorse type role. And for a running back that will be involved in the passing game, 10.5 receiving yards, obviously not a hard line to hit. And I was looking at some sportsbook odds, kind of looking around the DFS industry. A lot of the other DFS sites do have Jamal Haynes receiving yards props set a couple yards higher. I think Underdog had it at like 11.5. They added a yard higher. I was looking at DraftKings Sportsbook. So DraftKings Sportsbook, their college football props for this week, they don't actually have like a bunch of over-under props, but they do have spots where you can take just like alt lines. And I think Jamal Haynes on DraftKings Sportsbook for 12 plus receiving yards, his alt line for 12 plus was like minus 135, to go over. So it seems like DraftKings, some of the sportsbooks are heavily favoring Haynes to get 11 receiving yards here. I'll trust the market. I'll back that here, and I'll take Haynes for more than 10.5 receiving yards. So it's going to be the first prop we take for Saturday, guys. And then the other prop that I like is a fantasy score. And for those of you that are maybe new to Prizepicks, or if you never have done fantasy score before, if you just click scoring chart right here, you can actually see how fantasy score is calculated. And if you've ever played fantasy football, it's exactly like every fantasy football league. For passing yards, 25 yards is 25 yards is 1 point. For rushing yards, for receiving yards, 10 yards is 1 point. For passing touchdowns, 4 points. Rushing and receiving touchdowns are 6 points. And then for reception, it is full PPR, so you do get a point per reception. And then, if you throw an interception, you lose a point. If you lose a fumble, you lose a point. Pretty self-explanatory. So the fantasy score that I do like this week is Roydell Williams. We're going to take him for more than 9.5 fantasy score. And let's talk through this prop on Roydell and why I like this one. So if you look at kind of his prop lines for this week and where he's projected, he has a rushing yard prop set at 67.5. So sportsbooks are expecting him to run for about 60 to 70 yards here, which for fantasy score, that's going to be, if he runs for 60 yards, that's 6 fantasy points. And then you have to think, is he going to get any involvement in the passing game? Now, last season, Roydell Williams was on Alabama. He was splitting a lot of carries and a lot of opportunity with Jace McClellan. So Roydell Williams did transfer from Alabama to Florida State. Now, when he was on Alabama last season, he did not really get a ton of opportunity in the passing game. He only had I think 5 or 10, maybe 10 receptions total last season in all the games that he played. So Roydell Williams was not heavily involved in the passing game last year with Alabama, but now he's on a new team with a new coach. Maybe they involve him a little bit more in the passing game. Either way, given the fact that he's projected for 67.5 rush yards and the fact that he's pretty heavily favored to score a touchdown, I was looking at DraftKings Sportsbook. They have Roydell minus 220 to score a touchdown here. Prizepicks does have a goblin up for Roydell Williams. You can take him to score a touchdown, but if you take that, it does decrease the payout. I don't really like playing the demons and the goblins because I think the odds for those are not great compared to probably what you could be getting elsewhere. Honestly, if Roydell Williams scores a touchdown this week, he should very easily go over this fantasy score line. The only way that he would go under this fantasy score line and score a touchdown is if he runs for 30 yards, which he's projected for 67.5. So things would have to go really bad for Roydell to run for 30 or 35 yards. So I definitely think fantasy score is the best bet here because you get the rushing yards, you get the points for that, you get the 6 points for touchdowns if he does score a touchdown, which again he's minus 220 to do. And then you got to think maybe Florida State involves him in the passing game. Maybe he gets a couple catches, and let's say he gets 2 catches for 15 yards. That's 3.5 additional points because you get 2 points for the catch, and then you would get 1.5 points for the 15 yards. So there's just so many ways for Roydell Williams to get fantasy points here with the potential for touchdowns, with the volume that he should get as the lead back for Florida State, and potentially if he gets any work in the passing game, we would be getting points for that. But Roydell is expected to be the lead back for Florida State this year. He's going to be splitting some time with Lawrence Toafili, who is a talented running back. Trey Benson no longer on the team, so I think we're going to see Roydell and Toafili be kind of the main two backs for Florida State. Now, I think Florida State's probably going to involve 3-4 different running backs, but the guys that should be getting a large majority of the touches are Roydell and Toafili. And I think Roydell's definitely going to be the guy that gets a lot of the goal line work. So like in goal line situations when they get near the end zone, I think you'll see Roydell getting those carries near the goal line. And I like this matchup a lot for him against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech was really bad against the run last season. They were one of the worst run defenses in the country. Gave up over 223 rushing yards per game last season. Georgia Tech did. So I think this is a pretty good matchup for Florida State's run game. I think they're going to be efficient running the ball on this Georgia Tech defense, and I think Mike Norvell, with the new quarterback now with DJU, like, are they going to air it out as much as they did last year with Jordan Travis? I don't think so. Like, I think with DJU they're going to play a little bit more conservative this year. We'll have to see, but I do expect Roydell to get plenty of opportunity on the ground, maybe a little bit of usage in the passing game, but I think he's got a good chance at getting some goal line work, getting those carries near the end zone, potentially scoring a touchdown, and all that should lead to him going over or putting up more than 9.5 fantasy scores. So these are the two props, guys, that I'm liking for week 0 of the college football slate. It's officially here. It's technically a day away because I'm recording this video on Friday, but we're going to have college football soon, and I'm so excited, man. So excited to be doing college football content this year. If you guys are going to be tailing me this college football season, I do appreciate it. Let's try and make some money this year, and if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button as well if you have not yet. And if you guys, again, are new to Prizepicks, and if you don't have an account over on Prizepicks, be sure to sign up. Use promo code NOAH. Place your first $5 lineup. Instantly get $50 in promo funds added to your account. That promotion works when you use promo code NOAH. So make sure to check out Prizepicks, guys. Use that promo code when you sign up. But good luck this week. If you're going to be taking props for this week 0 slate, good luck. And if you're going to be waiting until next Saturday for the official kickoff week for week 1, hopefully we'll have some props then. I'll definitely be back with another video for week 1 next Saturday when that hits. But did want to make a video for week 0 since we do officially have some games starting on Saturday. But yeah, guys, good luck this week. Thanks for watching as always, and we'll see you guys in the next video.